Yo, what's going on YouTube? In today's video, we'll be talking about how Black Yellow Luffy is actually meta, and if you stay to the end of the video, you'll discover how to play it and how good it actually is. But without further ado, we're going to get into the leader. Unfortunately, I do not have my leader on me, so I'm just going to have to go to the deck with you without the leader. But it is Black Yellow Luffy. If you don't know what his skill is, it is Don times 2. If you have 0 life, you're able to take 2 5-cost characters and put them into your life face up. If your face up life were to leave your life, they do not go to your hand. Instead, they go to the bottom of the deck. This randomly can be useful because we are playing the MILL engine for this list, which is the new Straw Hat package, which really helps out for what it is that you're trying to achieve. We'll go over how everything works here in a little bit. Now, understand that this is a little bit of a wonky list, but mostly because I need to get some more cards, or just like some cards over some other ones. But you want to play 4 of these Flampe. If you're not playing 4 Flampe, then you want to be playing maybe a Makino, but you want to have this card at 4. Right now, again, I'm just testing a little bit of ratios myself, but generally speaking, you want to have like 4 of these, 4 of something that can take your life. You really need that. But right now I'm playing with another card instead of playing with that. And I really like this because being able to check your own life, or even check like what you have coming, can be super useful. And like you said, it just takes a life. But Flampe is just better because it adds a card to your hand, especially when you need that additional card. For other 2Ks, we're running 4 of the new Sanji 2K. His on play is, if you're a leader of Straw Hat type, trash up to 5 cards from the top of your deck. Again, this helps for the mill portion of the deck because you're trying to play from the trash mostly in this deck, and that's just kind of how it works. But we're going to continue to go ahead and get into it. Playing 4 of this Tony Chopper, which is an on play. Trash the top 3 cards of your deck, and an active main. You may trash this character. If you're a leader Straw Hat type, add up to 1 Straw Hat crew type character from your trash to your hand, except for Tony Chopper. This is going to be really good for reoccurring your cards because, again, we are playing mostly from the trash. Like I said, the new Black Straw Hat package allowed us to play from the trash because we're doing so much milling. This is where the ratios are going to get a little bit funky. I'm only running 2 of the baby Monkey D. Luffy, and that is because he is the least summoned character out of all the brothers that I play. And that is because when you are going for like other Luffy plays, the Luffy plays either won't defend you or they just aren't the most efficient moves that you can make for that time being. We are playing 4 of the Zeus being an on play that just allows you to KO. Playing 4 of the Baby Sabo. Baby Sabo is really important in this deck. I've seen a lot of lists that have taken Sabo out. I don't think that is ideal. I think that you're gonna need that for like your in-game strategy, and there's a bunch of decks that Sabo just generically helps you out against. We're playing 4 of the Porky's the Ace Kid, which is again mandatory. I'm gonna move on to the 5s. Playing 4 of the Revival Ace, which allows you to grab any of your babies out of the trash. This is what's gonna help you consistently be a 9K leader, is going into him and into a Sabo. We're running 3 of the Sabo blocker that allows you to on play trash 2 and protect your board. You're gonna need this not just for cycling, but for board protection against certain decks. And then we're playing 2 of this yellow Sabo, which is very relevant, and I'm going to tell you why here in a second. But his on play is you may add 1 card from the top of your life to your hand, draw 2, then trash 1. This is a +1, but he also has the effect that if you have 3 or less life, this character gains blocker +3 cost. That +3 cost is super relevant in certain in your green matchup, because if they electrical Luna, this will not stay rested. So you want to play him simply for the green matchup so that you aren't stuck with a board that you can't do with anything with for an entire turn, or defend yourself with for an entire turn. So in your green matchups, you really want to be playing this one over this one. Playing 2 of the Monkey D. Luffy KO, which is really good for a lot of decks. A lot of decks have a lot of 4-cost characters that they rely on, or that they generally use to advance their board state. So having this means that you get rid of those bodies early, or you get rid of problematic monsters. Like in Nami, for example, you're able to get rid of the girl really easy. You're able to get rid of Cavendish really easy for blue. Like, it's just a really good card right now. Running 2 of the Punch Luffy, but I want to take this up to 3 because this is one of the cards that you want to see on your curve. Like, you really want to see on your curve going first, and this is a go first deck. You really want to be going first with this deck because your best curves are going first. But you really want to be seeing this, like any of these aside from this on your 5 down turn. I'm very unfortunate, so I consistently see him on my 5 down turn and none of these, which is slightly agitating. I will be running more of the Luffys, but right now, seeing as I don't have all of my Luffys just yet, I've only got one, so I'm running a Porkers the Ace Luffy combo as my rushers. But the Luffy is extremely necessary because Luffy is going to help you in your new gate matchups your ace matchups for whenever they start throwing down Whitebeards. You need to get over those like relatively easy, and this is the card that's going to help you do that because Ace's big end game is just to play a bunch of blockers. So you want to play 2 things. You actually want to play the unblockable event. I'm spoiler warning there, I don't have the unblockable event. I am looking for the unblockable event. Once I get the unblockable event, it's going in this deck for decks such as like Ace and Emu and really any other deck that just likes to heavily defend itself in the end with blockers. We're playing 3 of the Pirate Docking 6. This is a very important card. This is another card that you want to see on your 5 down curve to try and get you to just mill additional cards or just to go into a chopper. Some of my favorite moves in this deck is to go into this and then go into a chopper and then chopper to get any of my Straw Hat cards back, or if I'm on a 7 down turn, to go into the chopper to pick up the Dock King, to go into the Dock King, to go into the chopper, to go into something else, which is a 9 card mill, which is really, really good because that's 1/4 of your deck or 1/5 of the deck in the trash, which is extremely good for consistency. But moving on, running 2 of the Nico Robin just being really good, and 2 of the Nami. Nami has an on play of if you're leader Straw Hat, you get to play up to 1 Straw Hat character with a cost of 7 or less from your trash. That character gains rush. So generally speaking, you want to go Nami into Nico Robin with leader skill. You're able to heal 2, so you'll get 3 life. If you can establish blockers before this, you're golden. Running 2 of the Swallow, Bond, and Ain't. I'm not really sure how to fucking say that, but anyway, what this is a 0 cost event that not only allows you to cycle cards in your hand that you might want in the trash, but it also allows you to mill 5 as just a generic event, which is really good for the engine of the deck, which is again just the mill because it's the mill version of the deck. I'm playing 1 Gungam Golden Rifle. This card is legitimately won me games, and I think it's really just because of the surprise factor. My opponent just does not see it coming, mostly because they don't know that Black Yellow Luffy now has events you can run. But this is a really good event for multiple purposes. Its active main is if you're leader Straw Hat, you get your trash 1 card from the top of your life, then add 1 card from your deck to the top of your life and trash 1 card from your hand. This can be really good for if you do use your leader skill and you like to gain a card to hand. This is going to allow you to do that so that you can go ahead and replace your face up life with a face down life. Or if you're in a situation where you just need to drain your own life, like you just need to get rid of your life, you can also play this as well to go ahead and snatch 1 of your own life. You do not have to activate the add up to 1 card from the top of your deck because it is, again, up to 1, which means you can choose 0. So use that to snatch cards. And here's the list. And in a second here, we're going to go over some plays and how to run it and what we're looking for and what we're trying to do. So let's go ahead and give this here a pause. I think there's a pause. I don't know where my pause button is. Pause. Oh, I guess I don't have a pause. Let's go ahead and run her up. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off the top. And win the hand. So this isn't the most ideal hand, no, but if we're going first, it is actually a pretty decent hand for curve, especially since we have 2 of these Sabos. And if my opponent is choosing to starve, if your opponent's choosing to starve you, then you're really in a very winning position. So like on turn 1, let's just go ahead and play this out. So for turn 1, you got 1 done, then you go Flampe, go ahead and takes a life and draws a card. So we got some. This hand, like I said, isn't super great. We don't have anything to capitalize off of, and we really want to be playing. If they're starving us, then, and we don't have any pieces just yet, we're going to want to play other cards aside from the Sabos. But that's going to come up later. So it's our turn. We draw. We get 2 done. Unfortunately, Flampe is just too weak to swing with. If she wasn't, we go ahead and just attach it onto her and swing. But because we don't have a play, we're just going to swing it lead. Again, your opponent more than likely is going to try the star strategy. If they don't try the star strategy, like with a hand like this, then yeah, we are hurting. But like I say, generally speaking, most people will not attack you because they just think that, oh, if I attack, then, you know, he's going to go down to 0. He's going to have everything he needs to become live. So they'll just leave you alone. So in that case, you'll go Sabo, which Sabo is going to take. And we're just gaining hand size at this point. So Sabo's going to draw you 2, and then you're gonna have to trash 1. Because we don't see a baby ace just yet, we do not want to get rid of this ace just yet. Because we don't see anything to recur out of trash, we don't want to get rid of these just yet. And because we may want to play something to drain our life again next turn, we want to go into this. But because we're not looking for life drain, we're looking for pieces for next turn, then we're going to go ahead and just pitch this because it's not going to have any value or use to us. Now, now at this point in time, your opponent could possibly start swinging at you. They'll be like, okay, well, let me try and chip away some life here before you start seeing something. So if you do, you'll take 1, and then say if they swing at you again, well, this is the only card that will allow you to not die. If they're just swinging a base 5, or if they're just swinging 6, then you can go ahead and go 6 pitch to just go ahead and keep that last life so you're not all the way fucked. But on this upcoming turn, if you do have 1 life and you don't have any setup, like you have no setup whatsoever right now, so it would not be ideal for you to take this last life. So what you are going to do is you're going to want to play your Dock King 6 and 7, and really just want to hope that you see some here. And luckily, we see the chopper. So we would go into the chopper. They would mill another 3. 1, 2, 3. Now the cool thing about this is that we have everything we need to go ahead and go into our our next turn with everything that we need to get our leader ability to be live. There are no Sanji 2Ks in the trash, which is super unfortunate, but I would just go ahead and knock off this now. And just because I want counter in hand, I go ahead and grab this so that I have it as part of, oh no, have I mixed my trash with, yes I have. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take this. Where the heck is this my hand? Yeah, this is my hand. This is my hand. This is my trash. My trash is way over here. Sorry guys, I'm a silly bar still. So we'll go ahead and take this to hand. Believe I did that right. Let's see. Why were these 2 in the trash? One got pitched. The other one got pitched. Yeah, these got pitched. Sorry guys, I'm a little sorry for myself. But anyway, this would be a board state. We really wouldn't have much of anything to do. Probably say we just throw down this ace, just cause we'll be using him next turn, and this turn all we gotta do is survive. So ideally, if your opponent has 3 characters in play, and let's just say they swing at you with a 5, then you're gonna go counter, and then they swing at you with another card. You're gonna go take, and then they try and swing at you with their last card. You don't. But let's just say that they don't swing at you and try and kill you. Then they just go, all right, well, I'm just going to pass now and, you know, pray for the best. So you're gonna go, and to a 9 Don turn, you've actually got a couple options here because you do have a blocker. If they did establish a body and you're worried about not dying, then your best bet is to go ahead and dox your own life. And to do that, I actually think I would want to keep this Luffy. No, I added this Luffy to the hand for counter. If I did take a life and they didn't swing, then I want to play the Luffy. Do I have enough for the Luffy? I don't have enough for the Luffy combo. Oh yeah, I do. So you tap 5, you play the Luffy. The Luffy will go ahead and trash your last life and you go draw 1. No, that was a horrible trash draw. because you went to a ace and got rid of 3K. So you got rid of 3K for no K. Unfortunate. You go ahead and give 2 Dawn to your leader, and then you go ahead and activate your leader's skill. You've already got a Sabo in trash, so you don't need 2 aces in hand. So what you're gonna do is, I'm gonna grab ace and Sabo. Seeing as ace is already in play, you don't need to tap the additional 2 Dawn. So you just need to give the 2 Dawn to leader, and you have 2 Dawn up. So then you go ahead and go into your ace. Ace, bring out ace, which will bring back out ace, which you'll use to bring out ace to bring out Sabo. And then Sabo is going to draw you once, draw you twice. Okay, now you don't need to hold on to the baby Sabos. You can actually get rid of the baby Sabos. So you can go ahead 1 baby Sabo, and if you really want to recur cards out of the trash, then you want to keep the chopper, but you're okay to get rid of 1 chopper, especially since you have these 2 in hand, so you have the baby recursion play over and over again. So I would get rid of 1 Sabo, 1 chopper, just so I have a little bit of diversity in my options for what it is I may or may not want for the upcoming turn. And keep in mind, like, you're a 9K leader at this point with a blocker on, with 2 blockers on board, and they can't be destroyed. So you're a 9K, 2 blockers can be destroyed, a whole board, you know. So you just swung, say you swung 9 here, and then you swung 11 with lead, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in your hand with 1 2K. It's crazy. And then you pass with 2 blockers, 8 cards in hand. If your opponent does have an unblockable, you are in a very, very tight spot because you don't have enough counter in your hand to not die. So you'll have, let's see, because if they had an unblockable right now, you go up to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Literally would cost you everything in your hand to survive. So hopefully they don't go unblockable. But if they did, you could still survive the unblockable, and then you'd have to essentially win on the crackback if possible. If you can't win on the crackback, you're going to have to mitigate the board as much as possible. But if they just put it on the leader, they don't have any board to mitigate. So you're, in essence, in trouble. So hopefully that doesn't happen to you. So if that doesn't happen, let's just say that they pass turn, they don't have any creatures that can reach you at 9, then you're going to go ahead and this is the turn. Or even if they did have any creatures that could reach you at 9, you just go ahead and get rid of the Sabo. And the reason why you want to get rid of Sabo is because of the next play that you're about to make. Whilst the Sabo would be really good to swing, like if they just swing a base 9 at you, like they just go straight 9, then no, I would rather get rid of this so that I have more board, so I have more things to swing with, because I'm gonna be swinging heavily this turn. So you're gonna go. It's gonna be your turn now. You're gonna draw 1. So insane. You're gonna use Luffy's skill before you take any life so that you don't lose any life. So he's an AK. Go ahead and boost him by 2. And you don't have any other on play skills to activate, so you're just gonna start 7, 7, 8, and probably a 6. And the only reason I would say keep this up is because it's an 8 cost. And again, that being 8 cost means that there's not a lot of cards that can interact with it. So you'll keep this up. So you swung with everything. You now give 2 Dawn to leader, and you'll go ahead and get rid of this Luffy, because again, this Luffy or this Sabo, because again, you want to have these 2 in your hand, because this is what's going to allow you the following 2 turns to be able to use leader skill and stay at 9K. So, but this turn you won't be to 9K, because you're gonna give 2 Dawn to leader. You're gonna activate your leader skill. You're gonna get rid of, let's say you can get rid of the Nico Robin, but if your opponent, it's a toss up. It really is a toss up. So you might want to get rid of the Neek. One of these smaller cards. This is where this stuff starts to get like really interesting, because it starts to get really difficult. So I'm gonna get rid of that, and I'm gonna give myself 2 life. And the 2 life I'm gonna give myself, I think, are gonna be those 2, because I have a Sabo in hand, and I plan on going down to just enough life. If I had a rush Luffy in the trash, I would have went for pitching the Sabo. So I had the Luffy, so I can go for the aggressive turn on the following turn. But unfortunately, I don't. So we're gonna go into that, and then we're gonna have that as our life, and then we're gonna go ahead and go 8 cost Robin. And then we're going to get rid of this guy, because we might need him in trash later. my trash is over here. And then we're going to use that whole play to go into the Neek Nami combo, which is going to go ahead and give you 3 life. So now you're at 3 life, 6 cards in hand, 1 blocker. That's an 8 cost. Like, you're golden. If you want to trade into their board so that they can't like crack back and kill you, you can, but keep in mind that Nico has a rush, so you swing with 2 8s, a 7, and a 6, and plus you have that leader swing of 11. Now you're just, I'm sorry, you have the leader swing of 7. Now you're just a 5k base leader, so at this point in time, like I said, if they have 4 swings, you're golden. Even if they have 5 swings, you're golden to just take 2 life. There you got 1 more swing left, 2 more, they got this left, 2 swings. You could just very easily go counter out, or if they go too high, you know, just go ahead and be a 9 again. Your hand size didn't change because you just used the 2 cards that you had previous. You're gonna do this. You're not gonna use this Luffy's effect right away. What you're actually gonna do is swing 6 first with the Nami, just to go ahead and check your opponent, and because of what you're about to play next. You're then going to go tribute off the Nami for the side bow, play the side bow, draw the 1, draw the 2. At this point, I do not see this game going too many turns past this one, so you can go ahead and pitch those 2. And plus you have 2 baby aces, so you really don't need those, so that's gonna be a +2. Then we're gonna go ahead and go leader skill, pitch, and we're gonna do it the whole entire combo rip once again, because again, this is just what's gonna keep you at a consistent 9, and like I said, your opponent really doesn't have a way of clearing you after this, especially with the 2 blocker bodies that you have on board. So you're only going to be using 2 more Dons, so make sure that you're swinging effectively. So like 2 Don onto this for 9, or whatever the case it may be. Maybe want to swing with this for 10, swing with this for 10. And then go ahead and start replacing your cards. Place this with this, and then play out this, and then we'll be replacing this with this. So now you got 3 blockers. You draw 2, draw once, draw twice. Obviously we're getting rid of like these 2. You've only got, so you can only go up. So if they do have an unblockable event, if you're playing something that is unblockable, you are screwed. Like, you're just finished. If you do feel like you would play something unblockable, keep in mind you were already you're 11k lead because you saboed twice basically, so you're 11k lead. So this is only going to take you up to 13, 14, 15. You just do die if they have it, which is super unfortunate. But if you are worried about that and you do think that your opponent can, just don't play the second sabo. Like, there's no need for you to play the second sabo. You can just leave that in your life and just stick with the 2 blocker, 1 life, 3 card. You're still a 9k leader, so it's still going to be hard for your opponent to reach you, but even more so because you have this setup. And like I say, with these, you're good and golden. So if you just like block and take a life and they can't reach with anything else, or let's just say that they can and you just give them a 2k, then you're still golden, because I'm pretty sure the game is over like after this. So you'll draw, and what an insane draw that was. So you draw and really just gonna go for game, because you're gonna tap 5, put 2 onto leader, pitch, and there's no need for you to try and prolong your life, but because this is a 2 card that boosts you up to a 9, you might as well, you know what I'm saying? So it only makes sense. So for that, we're gonna go actually double ace, and then yeah, you just swing from the fences here. You're just gonna go whatever into lead, whatever into lead, whatever into lead. Then you're gonna play out that guy for 2. You know, and this is why I said whatever into lead, because for 2, you're gonna also swing 6 this, but you're probably gonna swing this last just cause. So you're gonna trade out this ace with this ace. That gives you an additional swing. So then you got 2 additional swings this turn because you top decked a Luffy and you got this. So it's another 7, 7, and then whatever this is. The odds of your opponent surviving that massive onslaught are very slim, especially if they had to deal with that same onslaught the turn before. So yeah, like yeah, you're good and golden. I really like this leader. I've been enjoying this leader. I've been enjoying this deck. I've been enjoying how it runs. It's just a cool version of the deck. It's a MILL version. You can play many different ways of this, but this MILL variant is so cool and I like it so much. But that is the video, ladies and gentlemen, for Black Yellow Luffy. Thanks for playing, singing, peace.